Good evening, sunshines. Hope your Sunday, it's Sunday, right?
It is Sunday.
Evening is going swimmingly. We are so excited to be here hanging out with you all. I want to say right, oops, that's going to need to go off.
Every time.
Also, I just want to let everyone know that Eugene is over there in the corner. Oops, she just went off screen. But Eugene, the indoor house bunny, is hanging out with us tonight. And so every Eugene sighting gets 5 points. And someone who's not me can keep track of that math. And also someone who's not Adam, because I feel like that's a lot of math. I also want to give a very special shout out to Adam's mustache from a lifelong obsession with Burt Reynolds, the most handsome man in the world.
Your lifelong obsession?
Yes?
Yes.
Mine. Yeah, I guess that could come off weird. Anyway, my lifelong obsession with Burt Reynolds, the most handsome man ever. And Adam finally agreed to grow a mustache for me, which I'm so pleased about.
I don't know that my ability to grow a mustache was probably up to par.
It previously was not. Yes, actually, hilariously, when we got engaged, he grew a beard, and it was not good.
And it still kind of leaves a little bit to be desired. Red hair is difficult for growing mustaches that stand out from the color of your skin.
That is true. But I love a good mustache. I grew up in Montana in the age of mustaches. And also, we used to have, I grew up in a community, and we had square dances every 3 months. And we had the same square dance caller my entire life. He actually ended up doing the square dance calling at our wedding too. And he had the most incredible handlebar mustache. It was white and like so thick and curled. And so anyway, we have some work to do here, but we're looking forward to it. Anyway, all that to say, we're so glad you're all here. In case you've somehow missed the announcement elsewhere, we are happy to announce that I am 7 months pregnant with a baby boy who is due in June. And we are very cautiously excited to share that news with the world. Having dealt with fertility stuff for 12 years and dealt with loss and other things like that, that was a very scary thing to publicly tell anyone or share. Oh, Eugene! I get 5 points. To share any publicly in any way. But anyways, we basically can no longer hide it. And so we want to keep making videos and keep hanging out and keep sharing stuff with people. So that was the way that we got around it. It's kind of an awkward, funny thing because I basically don't like talking about anything having to do with like my body or like drawing attention to that kind of thing or whatever. So anyway, yeah, it's like a weird thing to like photograph myself or like make content and be like, oh, there it is.
Yeah. Well, we've been wanting to tell for a while, but obviously for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Decided to wait. Even in the last live stream a month ago, you were hiding it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You held a goat the entire time.
Yeah. Which actually was super funny. I mean, my friend Rachel texted me after that live stream and was like, next time you're going to have a bigger goat. And I was like, well, good news. She's going to grow right along with me. But actually, I didn't want to hold the goat for 2 hours tonight. And we also really want the real focus to be on Eugenius over here. So here she is. Yes. Although Adam is obstructing her at the moment.
But yes, I am watching the chat.
Oh, yes.
This really mangy old iPad case, which I will ditch because it's...
That thing is a little ratty, but don't drop this on my concrete floor. How old is that iPad? That thing's been to the moon and back.
I've had this one for like 10 years.
Oh, should we talk about the
moon landing? No. So I guess we're not. Yes. So that's the big news.
That's the big news. Also,
is the announcement.
Yes, we are pregnant. Oh, Eugene.
There's Eugene. That's the real news right there.
Eugene is the best news.
And so as part of the announcement, in the video, we talked about downsizing the farm.
Yes.
And you want to talk about like some of the messages you got and maybe some of the questions that you got as well?
We got, well, first of all, I just want to say thank you all, like those of you who have prayed with and hoped for and wished us well, like throughout this entire journey. We want to say thank you so much. Like your support means literally everything. Also, in case you haven't seen our most recent video where we did make the official announcement, but that video itself was actually about all of the downsizing and the changes that we're making on the farm to hopefully accommodate this, going well come June. But full disclosure, that video is a bit of a tearjerker. Which I had a hard time watching any of it back as we were editing it, because it I'm just obviously super emotional because I'm pregnant, but also this has been a wild few months, and we had a few really kind of less than ideal experiences with that. So not to summarize the video, but we've decided to butcher our pigs who had been raising to start a new pig endeavor. But I decided this was probably not the best time of life to be endeavoring on a new, very physical venture with the farm with 650 plus pound animals that can get very hormonal at times. So we downsized the pigs. We did a lot of shifting with the cows. Which we
didn't really talk about in the video.
Yeah, actually, we didn't even talk about that really in the video because,
it was kind of complicated.
Yeah. I mean, anytime we're, now that we have 18 cows, which is insane. I can't believe that. Oh my gosh, there's Eugene. She's so cute. Anytime we talk about that many animals, when you talk, Adam always is stop talking about the cow genealogy. It's so confusing. And it is funny because even Adam doesn't really know the difference between most of the cows.
Well, you're this one, and then that one's daughter did bred with this one, and then that one's daughter bred with this one, and
genetics are very important to me. Anyway, all that to say, we
sure
did a lot of cow
interesting
shuffling
to you, but I think it's hard. It's hard to keep track of.
Yeah, I got very good at driving the trailer, and so did Adam, because we've moved animals from this farm over to the dairy and back over, and then we also did some bartering and trading with some of our neighbors. Tyler, my dairy business partner, and I took 3 bulls to the market, which is the first time we've ever done that, that was a whole wild experience, and I really felt like a real farmer in that moment, that's not the way we really want to do things with animals, taking them to the market or to the sale barn or whatever, but because beef prices are so high right now, it literally made more sense to take them to the sale barn and to get to sell them that way than to raise them out for another 2 years and then butcher them and then sell the meat, because just beef prices and all that stuff is just wild right now. And so again, we kind of just chose to strike while that iron was hot and also save me a bunch of fence moving this summer. Anyway, that's but then the other really, really sad thing was that I had to rewinding our cow story 2 years, we had to put half of our dairy herd down 2 years ago because they contracted BLV, which is very prevalent in cows across the US, but specifically is an issue when you're dealing with raw dairy. And so we had culled most of the animals, but because my first dairy cow, Reba Milkintyre, who was the love of my life, because she had the disease but wasn't yet shedding or spreading the disease, we decided to try to keep her as healthy as possible for as long as possible so we could get some more calves out of her in hopes of keeping her genetics and all of the good things she'd given us going. But you know, as the pregnancy progressed, and also we had already decided this was going to be her last calf, and because we knew we were going to have to be shifting cows back and forth from the dairy to here, and knowing that I probably wasn't going to be paying as close of attention to things for a little while this summer, we were like, it's just time. So we put her down, which was a very, 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 very sad day. But I'm really happy to say that I feel so proud of like the way that we cared for her throughout the BLV stuff. We kept her healthy for 2 more years. She lived the most beautiful, spoiled life, and I got to spend so much time with her, and her last day here was very, very good, and she didn't suffer at all, and that is very important to me. So anyway, all that to say, if you want to watch that video, bring some tissues.
Yes. I saw a question, what is BLV? If you want to just like really
very quickly
explain that.
It's bovine leukocytosis virus, which, I mean, if it manifests or metastasizes, it's basically like a cow version of leukemia. And so it will eventually like result in you know, tumors and just a general shutdown of the body's immune system. And if a cow is shedding the virus, then it can infect the milk, and then the milk, without being pasteurized or heated, has been linked to a significant increase in breast cancer risks with women. And so, yeah, just because our whole business is raw dairy, we can't mess with that stuff.
Yeah. So maybe just like shifting gears towards like more happy things. Maybe you want to talk about some of the things that you're doing to prepare for the baby, like your office, and maybe some of the other plans. I think this is new since our last live stream. So we're remodeling the office, which I am very excited about. This has been a project I've been picking away at for a really long time. And so we are putting a baby room upstairs in the hayloft, which is honestly becoming the fanciest room on our entire property. It is the fanciest room.
It is the nicest.
It is the most well-decorated room on the entire property, by far.
Yeah. The coolest thing about it is both cool and not as cool. I don't know if we'd showed this part before, because I know I'd put the door in already. But here's a funny Anne of all trades, Anne of no measuring issue. I didn't quite understand how the door hardware worked. I thought it worked like a cabinet door. And so anyway, all this to say that when I had built everything and put it in and then installed it, the first time I opened it, I was like, oh no, which is, you'll see why this is a problem in just a second. So, excuse me, sorry, I'm more rotund than before. Okay, so when you open the door, it doesn't open like a cabinet door like I thought. I thought it like came out of the wall. So anyway, the door opening is actually only 11 inches, and I'm getting too fat to go through it.
It's like very narrow. Like, yeah, it is 11 inches.
So anyway, that was a bit of an oversight. I think like I can probably like angle as I keep getting bigger. Anyway, we'll figure it out. But that was, also while I'm standing up, take a look at my suite. Hold this for 1 second so I can show them. Wait, no, not the chair. I mean, I built that chair too, but the Melodeon. So this is an 1856 Melodeon, which I am currently restoring. It's like the very first pump organ. So it basically sounds exactly like an accordion when it's actually playing it, but I have the bellows disassembled right now because I'm working on restoring it. But it has genuine ivory keys, ebony and ivory. It's so cool. And for those who are new here, I'm obsessed with the Victorian era. So this is, peak.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Peak coolness.
I mean, I kind of think that like, it never really took off, a Melodeon. But I think it kind of got killed by electricity. Well,
because,
as did most good things.
Because like it requires you to pump with your feet.
Yeah.
It's basically just like an accordion with a keyboard, like this. But I suspect, like when electricity came and you had electric organs, it kind of killed this market. But they made these, it says, till like the 1950s, which is amazing to me.
Yeah, I don't think there was quite as many of them in the 1950s. But the funny thing is, I've been looking for one of these for a really long time. And of all the things, well, I've actually found a lot of my lifelong curiosities during this pregnancy because I've been so sick that I'm literally on the couch looking for something to do all the time. And so I found a bunch of things on Facebook Marketplace that I had been looking for years. And so this is one of them. And I'm very excited about it.
Very excited. And then, any other plans for like the baby stuff or not really? So far?
I mean, we have to do some minor remodeling of the actual house as well, because A, we've had some semi-serious storm damage, and B, we also need to just get some functional baby room or situation going, because our house is split level, so there's so many stairs, so we kind of have to just do a makeshift situation on the main level so that I don't have to climb 7 flights of stairs right after giving birth.
Somebody asked names. We don't have a name yet.
We don't. We have like some names that we've like kind of been thinking about ourselves, but we would love to invite any suggestions. We kind of, because we have different last names, but our initials are the same, and so we've kind of always wanted to do like an AB theme, and so if there is a really good A name, we would love any suggestions for boys with A names. And yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, not wearing a hat this time. Haircut. This is Annie's handiwork. She has done a great job.
I was vying for like 11 years to have the privilege of cutting Adam's hair, but something many people here may not know about Adam is that he's very, very particular about his hair. And he resisted my scissors for a very long time because he insisted that surely I was not good at cutting hair, because in his opinion, though I've been cutting my own hair for 17 years, I cut my parents' hair, a lot of unsuspecting children who...
Well, you sold it to me like I can cut hair because I have experience like shaving alpacas.
Shearing alpacas, and that's correct. And don't I do a lovely job shearing the alpacas every year?
You do a fine job.
They look great.
But anyways.
He looks very handsome.
Just going to shout you out, that's all.
I will say that
somehow this story turned on me.
The entire time I was cutting his hair, he was offering suggestions and helpful hints, though he himself has never cut hair. And I also, during that process, found out that he also apparently offers the barber at the barbershop suggestions as well. So... what a dream customer this guy is.
Somehow this story turned on me.
But he looks very handsome. His mustache, the hair, it looks so good. It's delightful.
A lot of A names rolling in. Atlas.
Ooh, I love Atlas. Atticus is, I like Atticus because of the literary...
Al Borland.
My grandfather's name was Al, and I actually did suggest that we name him Albert, but Adam said that we can't have him be an old man before he's... And I was like, what are you saying? I literally...
Hey, when we found out... Poor Albert might be watching this.
Yes,
being offended
Albert is a great name.
Yep.
It's my grandfather's name. Anyway, all that to say, I cried a lot when we found out that this was a baby boy, because we lost a daughter last year, and also I've always wanted to be a girl mom. But also my consolation when we did find that out was that I could not wait to put him in a bow tie and suspenders and just have, Yeah, that will be so great. So anyway, he will be an old man right the moment that he's born.
Yeah, there's just some great names. Ace? I don't know about that. Sorry.
That's a good nickname,
Sorry to
though.
any aces out there. I don't know. Might be a good nickname, yeah.
Also, I mean, this isn't really nursery related, but we did get the first gift for him and from our friends Austin and Rachel, who have also been helping us build the school. And like, this is such a thoughtful gift in so many ways. A, because James Harriet is a beloved veterinarian, but also this sparked us loving the show. What's it called?
All Creatures Great and Small.
Yes, which somehow we had never heard of.
I feel like the last people to have heard of this show.
But it was very, very up my alley. My favorite thing about it, honestly, was how much time they spent at the pub drinking while she was pregnant. So, speaking of which, would you like to open a Guinness and talk about your glass collection?
Oh no, I think we did that before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I think great show. Other good show coming up, season 3 or 4 is Clarkson Farm.
Oh, we love Clarkson's Farm.
It's like basically what we would be like if we had like unlimited money.
Yeah, Adam has always said that I would be just like Jeremy Clarkson if I had unlimited finances. What's happening here? This is making me very nervous.
Oh yeah. So I think there's that. Oh, and then we have a trip coming up.
Oh yeah, we're going back to Seattle.
Back to Seattle.
Well, I'm going back to Seattle for work, and then Adam is going to join me. We tried to make a baby moon kind of thing happen, and we wanted to go to Europe, but that completely fell apart for finances and other reasons.
Timing reasons and all kinds of stuff.
But he's going to come join me in Seattle, and we're going to go visit the old farm for the first time in 5 years, which is crazy because actually one just funny thing, I hate saying goodbye, so I try to avoid those as much as possible. But when we moved here, we genuinely didn't say goodbye to almost anyone because Adam was still working at Amazon at that time and he was staying with his Seattle team. So when we left, the plan was that we were going to be going back to Seattle every single month, at least once a month for work. And so we were just like, oh, this is no big deal. We'll just see you guys in a month. And then the pandemic happened.
Yeah, we moved we actually got here January 1st, 2020.
Yeah. And so we never made it back to Seattle, and this is literally the first time since then that we'll be going back. Actually, you went back.
I've been back there 4 times, 5 times. But I think you've been back to Seattle 0.
0 times. I've been to the airport several times, flying through for work.
It's going to be weird.
Hold on. You entertain them for 1 second. I'm just going to see what that chewing is happening over here. Eugene might be causing some issues.
Yeah, so one of the things about Eugene is we need to make sure that she's not chewing on anything. And so what we've done is we've secured all of the cords in this room, so they're all inaccessible.
We baby-proofed, and actually that was one really funny thing. We baby-proofed the house for Eugene, and now it's baby-proofed, so it's great. There's nothing that Eugene can get into, and that incidentally translates to a baby.
Yeah, Eugene is I think she'll talk about it in the video, but Eugene and Rigby are the best friends now. And
yes.
She has recess time every night for a couple hours.
I call it yard time because when I put her back in her cage, I always feel like I'm putting her back in prison. And I'm always like, oh, Eugene's stomping in her cage, demanding her yard time. But in case people don't know, Rigby is Adam's dog. Johnny and June are my dogs. And Rigby actually used to be my dog too, but when we moved here, he's afraid of bugs. He doesn't like going outside. He
likes going outside. He likes to play fetch.
Well, he loves playing fetch, of course. He's a lab. But anyway, he became Adam's dog when we moved here because Rigby doesn't like being on the farm. He's afraid of most of the animals. And so it's really funny watching him play with Eugene because I truly think he's finally like, I finally have a friend.
Yeah, we brought Rigby down here to like the farm animal area yesterday, and he was just like stressed the whole time. And
yeah.
But yeah, thank you, Sierra Schwab, for the super chat.
Oh, Sierra's in the cohort
nice.
that I'm doing right now, the time management.
She says, I'm here for the live since I missed the cohort last week.
Well, we missed you. Is this an appropriate time to ask you how your project's going?
But yeah, I think, how is the cohort going?
The cohort's going great. For those of you who don't know, I'm like putting the finishing touches on a book that I've been working on writing for a long time. And part of that is there's a workbook to accompany it. And we are testing that with a group of, our second group actually, of folks that are joining to do that. And so we're like meeting every week. We do an hour of teaching and an hour of group check-ins with everyone, and everyone's kind of picked a project that they're going to be working on, and we're helping them figure out how to go about tackling that. And so that's why I was checking on Sierra's project. She has a really cool one. I'm really excited to see what she does with it.
And it's like go time now in the garden, and which has been
spring,
which has been, you know, interesting with like being pregnant and like trying to keep everything going, you know.
Oh yeah, well.
But how's the garden shaping up?
The garden is good. I mean, it's going to be good no matter what, because truly I could literally do nothing.
Because it's a lazy garden. And
it would take care of itself, and the things that like self-seeded would come up and all that stuff. But I don't ever, like, I really struggle, especially considering like the journey we've been through with fertility and stuff. Like, I don't ever want to sound like I'm complaining about anything, because the thing is, I've literally wanted this my entire life, and like I am willing to endure so much to accommodate it. So like, yeah, I don't want to be perceived as whining. I will say that I
don't think you'd be perceived as whining.
I appreciate that, but you know, I always want to be careful about that. But anyway, I will say that just so I have had, like, I kind of have been basically on bed rest. And so I'm not like allowed to do any of the things that I normally would do. And after, like, my whole identity is built on being, like, I'm a very little person. And so I used to be really insecure. I was like beaten up a lot and stuff when I was a kid, really badly bullied. And so like I got strong and I learned how to do things, and I built a sense of independence and self-reliance kind of that was a huge part of my identity. And so the last year and a half, like when I cut my hand, followed by our last pregnancy and the recovery there, and then now this, and like not being able to lift more than like 20 pounds or do...
Well, you were very sick.
Yeah, I was so sick.
Trimester. And then I'd say in the second trimester, your back has been messed up.
Yeah.
And so that's been very hard.
Yeah. So anyway, all that to say, the garden is going to be fine and great, but it is like really go time right now. And my personal inclination is to want to be doing all these things that I literally just can't. And so ironically, Farmer Adam is for the first time getting the opportunity to be a real farmer. And it was super precious the other day. I was like, you know, really down about not being able to do some stuff. And he was like, well, listen, I've had to edit every one of the gardening videos. Like, I know what to do. Just tell me what to do. And I was like, okay, well, giving up control is a little difficult for me. But yeah, so it's going to be great. And we have so much, ironically, usually I travel like most of the month of June teaching at various things. So I had already prepared to do all these teachings and things like that. So those are just going to become videos that we will do. And we're really excited to share those. There's lots of stuff going on with our mushrooms stuff. There's lots of stuff going on. I've been doing tons of fruit tree propagation.
Propagation. That's like propagation mushrooms is like your big thing this year.
Yeah. If you were to take 2 topics that we'll talk a lot about this year, it's propagation and mushrooms.
Well, you've read like 8 books.
Well,
No, I mean like recently.
Oh, yeah,
on propagation.
Sure. This is like...
It's actually quite ridiculous.
This is a good one.
Like, I don't know if people realize like how much research you do on this stuff.
Well...
It's pretty impressive.
I like reading. And I like also... if I get interested in anything, it's a little hard. I have kind of zero chill. So if I'm interested in something...
Like all or nothing.
Yeah, I will probably learn everything that there is to know about it. Which is...
That was like mushrooms a couple years ago. I remember like he just would...
Oh, totally.
You were like obsessed.
Yeah, now I'm obsessed in a different capacity with the mushrooms. I'm working on finding a way to cultivate morel mushrooms, which is like very, very difficult to do, but I've successfully done. So I'm really excited about that. Anyway.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, Paul says, I really miss the woodworking. Well, as it happens, I'm doing some fairly significant woodworking projects at the moment. I have been working on this set, like a dining room set of chairs, but that has expanded because I'm not just doing the 8 dining room chairs. I'm finishing up a bunch of our teaching examples and things from the last several years of chairs, because every time I build a new chair, like a new design chair, I have to finish one of the old ones. This is like a thing. But anyway, throughout this pregnancy, like I have been so antsy and itchy to do things that there's only so much I can do at a time or in a day. So I've been trying to limit myself to like 20 or 30 minutes, which means that I can work on a spindle or, fit a chair leg or turn one chair leg or whatever. And so piece by piece, they've been going together. We also, though, are toying with the idea of starting a woodworking only channel after the baby gets here.
Yeah, like a projects-based channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because the thing is, it's like, for the last 2 years, because we've been focusing most of our video stuff on homesteading, and then, we work full-time too, so like doing the, trying to do the projects and do videos about the projects.
It's a lot.
In addition to those things has just become really unfeasible, but that doesn't mean that I haven't been doing them. I carved a spoon earlier today while we were talking, but yeah, I miss the woodworking videos a lot because I personally used to love getting, like sharing the project with people publicly, and the entire building process. It was so much more fun for me when I was talking with other people about that. And then also the cool thing for me was like doing a weekly video about whatever the project was also evidence for me when I was like in a creative slump or anything else of like all the things that I had previously done. And so that is one thing that I've really been missing.
Yeah, so I don't know. A lot of people actually probably don't even know because they maybe just joined the last couple of years.
That I was previously a full-time furniture maker for 12 years.
Well, in that, yes, but also this channel started out as a woodworking channel.
This used to be only woodworking, and now it's just pivoted. Yeah,
you started Hands-On Woodworking, I think, in 2014 as like an Instagram account, and then
2012.
2012.
Yeah.
And it kind of just evolved from there, and then you started a YouTube channel. It was about hand tool woodworking, and so a lot of this like gardening and homesteading is actually fairly recent.
It used to be.
But you've been doing those the entire time. It just wasn't like the main focus.
What is? Oh, she's eating a little wood chip back there.
Or bunny back there.
Eugene.
She's
chewing on a wood chip. Speaking of literally chair leg shavings, she's sitting underneath my shave horse right now eating an oak shaving. But yeah, so yeah, that is a funny side note that I didn't really think about because, I've been here all the time. I forget about the fact that a lot of people have recently just joined us, and that is a lot of that has had to do with the homesteading and other things. Because it's not like stopped building or anything. It's literally just that the woodworking school that we were supposed to open in May of 2020 has taken a whole lot longer and cost a whole lot more and just been a time, life, energy, money suck for way longer than it was ever intended to. So doing all that on top of I haven't built a custom piece of furniture for someone else since we moved to Tennessee. Oh wait, that's not true. One.
Yes, for somebody else, but
Yeah.
But
for
there's
somebody
like
else.
dozen like Windsor chairs in this room. So.
Yeah. No. I've been building stuff for myself, for our house and stuff. Yeah. I built our table.
Yes.
Adam's still waiting on our bed.
Yeah. All that to say, Annie is a very talented, like, woodworker.
Thank you.
Like, ridiculously talented.
Thank you.
And I would love to, I think, maybe
Get back to that.
Or at least like try to do that. So I think it'd be cool.
Yes.
Thank you, Chris Conversino, for the super chat.
Oh, Chris, hey.
Kind of related to what we were just talking about, but he says, "Congratulations, you two. Have you ever thought about restoring a treadle lathe?"
He says that because he is currently storing a treadle lathe for me. Chris, you are a saint for keeping that in your garage for the last 2 years. I was like, oh no, should I even tell Adam that that's the case? Because I actually have 2 other treadle lathes here at the moment that I've actually been working on one specific one that is so neat. And actually, ironically, it was supposed to be in here like a couple weeks ago, but I decided to wait until the paint was done because I don't want it to get on my incredible pedal lathe that I have, that I'm so excited to put in here. Anyway.
Yeah. Yes. Let's see.
Do you have something that's burning?
I'm getting a lot of A name suggestions here.
Do you like any of them?
Well, I don't know. You tell me.
Adam is the one who's choosy in this household. He's a very discerning customer. Actually, here's a funny side note. The reason that there are 12 Windsor chairs currently in process in here is because Adam told me he wanted a matching set of chairs for the dining room. And so I picked my favorite chair and I prepped parts and started building 8 of those chairs. And then after I brought 2 of them up to the house, Adam was like, oh, I really prefer a chair that doesn't have arms on it.
Oh, man.
And so then I was like, okay, well, if that's the case, then I will build another set of chairs. But I'd already cut out all the parts, so I was like, well, I have to use all of this stuff, and I can't let it go to waste. So we're just gonna have a Windsor chair or 2 in every room of our house, in every bathroom. Oh, there's Eugene.
Well, Eugene setting. Oh,
that's okay.
It's directly
behind you.
Oh, well. Okay, well, anyways, I said the Windsor chair comment because I just was like, oh, yeah, when I play guitar,
Listen, you're allowed to have an opinion.
It's nice to not have arms. That was literally the comment I made, and then it got blown out as I would refuse any Windsor chair with arms. It's just, she's like, I have to redesign all the chairs, and I was like, no, you don't. It's I'm fine with the arms. I think maybe you just use that as an excuse to make more chairs.
You know what's really funny about that, though, is that I catch Adam sitting at dinner time. I catch Adam sitting in the chair that had arms.
Yeah, it's great.
Almost every night.
When I'm not playing guitar. I just lesson learned. I have to be careful, putting forward my opinion.
Listen, it's because I want you to love it. I don't want to.
I will believe you. I will believe your intent is
I
pure.
care about, if I'm going to build something, I want you to be so proud of it and that you comfortable in it. And, plus, building Windsor chairs is so fun. And it is truly, actually, like, of all the things that I've built, I never thought that I would build a chair or could build a chair. But as we've been building the school and I haven't had, like, a full shop set up in a regular way for 5 years, I love going to my friend Greg Pennington's house, and he's a Windsor chair maker. And so, like, you know, I go and help him prep for classes and stuff like that. And so when I'm over there, it's like my own little vacation from my problems. So throwing together a chair or two, it's like, ooh, sweet, that sounds like fun. Anyway.
Makes sense.
But now we have lots of places to sit.
By the way, if anybody has any questions or Q&A...
anything specifically you would like us to talk about, Adam is monitoring the chat. Although I think
it's a lot of A names, though. I'm like looking at the chat, and it's like Archer, Ace, Arrow, Avery, Aiden, Andrew, Axel. I'm like, yes, I think these are all great.
Well, good news of great joy. Andy, who is
good.
also an A name, asked, so you make all your Windsor chairs with dry wood, even the spindles and backrests? And the answer is actually no. We use green or freshly cut oak for the backrests or the like bent parts. Like this chair is made entirely out of green wood, and except for the seat, which is made out of dried walnut. But all of the other chairs use pine seats, maple turned parts, and oak spindles and curved parts.
Makes sense.
Green wood grows on trees here, so you know it's a pretty free resource.
But
Not free.
But all that to say, like, we're going back to Seattle. And we'll see the farm for the first time in 5 years. Your old wood shop is still there, actually, I think.
Yeah, well, we're very interested to see. So, interestingly...
Because, like, the deal with the house was, like, we leave, like, a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what is still there. So, like, when we left, we sold the house to someone that we knew, and actually, he wanted it to basically be left as we left it. So he wanted there to be a blacksmith shop and a wood shop, and like wanted the garden and the orchard, and even like down to the fact that like we took our donkeys with us and our goats, but I helped him buy new donkeys and new goats. And so like, yeah, so.
And it was great because like,
yeah.
Like we did a massive culling.
We did not bring very much.
We
to
probably
Tennessee.
brought half of our stuff. Like we just left a ton.
Totally.
Because that was like part of the deal, and it was great. I don't really know what's there now. Like we kind of have a vague idea. Well, like, maybe we'll like have it be a surprise, but.
Well, we're gonna make a video,
probably.
Maybe even 2 videos. We're gonna see, because if it's close enough to the original, like if they're still using it in any regard, that we could actually give like a tour. But the thing is, since then, the gentleman who purchased the farm from us, his wife had some serious health issues, and so they actually have since sold it to someone else.
Well, I think they're renting it.
Or
else.
But anyway, so it's we don't really know what it's like there. And we're going to go and find out, and it's going to be great.
It's going to be cool.
Or
I think it'll be weird.
Adam thinks it's going to be very emotional for me. And I was like, you know what? I'm so... But because I'm so happy to be here.
There's something about revisiting, like, the scene of old
The scene of the crime.
Trust me.
Maybe. I mean, let's be honest. I have been very emotional lately anyway, so...
That's true.
All that to say, in summation, we're going back to Seattle. We can't wait. We're going to see some of our favorite people. Also, I mean, like, my work trip right before this, I'm really excited about because I get to hang out with one of my favorite people in the world. Actually, many of favorites, but specifically Melissa K. Norris. So if you are here because of gardening stuff, I hope you know about Melissa K. Norris. She does the Pioneering Today podcast, and she has a online homesteading education platform. She is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Galloping Goat Ranch asks, how many goats do you currently have? She says a little bit confused in the video. I can understand why that might have been confusing.
Probably for the same reason as my cow genealogy. We are down to 4 goats, which is
Your star players.
our star players. It's actually insane. So we just the last 4 that we weren't keeping went to their new home in Georgia last week, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and it's insane. I mean, Adam and I were outside yesterday with the animals, and he was like, "Why are the goats so quiet and calm?" I'm like, "Because there's only 4 of them."
They were just standing
like they
there.
literally were just
chewing their
hanging
cud and
out.
standing there.
Yeah.
Well, because when we had all the other goats here, it was like chaos.
Yeah, I mean, when you have 22 goats.
I mean, it's the lowest common denominator kind of sets the tone for the rest of the herd.
You mean behavior-wise?
Behavior-wise.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like whatever that goat is doing, then all of the other ones just kind of mirror it.
Yeah, and so we definitely, again, just like kind of keeping the theme. How can we make life easy and calm and things for this next season? That was the thing that dictated the decisions that we made in that regard. But also, not knowing what's going to happen health-wise and other things like that, I did want to have goats that were in milk. So I'm still milking 3 of the 4 goats are in milk, and I'm milking them every day. And
No Jeffrey.
Jeffrey is gone. He moved to Florida,
Wow.
I think.
Just like chilling in the sun.
Listen, Jeffrey, actually, we realized yesterday that we didn't tell probably
Yeah.
the most interesting
That was the
piece
missed opportunity there. But
of
here we go.
Jeffrey's history. So prior to us getting Jeffrey, he was involved in a barn fire at our neighbor's house. And so their barn caught on fire on Christmas Eve, and their livestock guardian dog went in after they had previously had 9 goats, and he went in and pulled, like, their livestock guardian dog, while the barn is on fire, went in and dragged out the goats one by one, and he saved 6 of them and then died going in after the last 3, which is like the saddest thing ever if you think about like the sacrifice that he made, but also just like that is, I mean, our dogs have risked their lives to protect me and the animals as well. So like, it's really awesome. But anyway,
He was a sweet goat. Like he was
Jeffrey.
he was crazy a little bit at times, but like he was actually like a super sweet goat.
Jeffrey was awesome. He seriously was awesome. The way the where I went wrong with Jeffrey, which this is like counter to every other goat I've ever had. Every other goat that I've ever had, if you have any behavior issues or anything like that, like my experience has taught me that you have to be the one who's more stubborn. And for some reason, Jeffrey just like bucked that stereotype. If you challenged him, he would challenge you right back, and he never relented. And so I was so stubborn with him and like stern with him and strict with him, and he just was not ever gonna have any of that. And so like when we found a new home for him, we talked about that, and like and I was just like, hey, like don't be aggressive with him. Like if he's aggressive with you, don't do it back, because truly with my mom, he was such a sweetheart. With like with all of my friends, like everyone else who came to the farm, the biggest sweetheart ever. The only other person besides me that he was a jerk to was my friend Brittany, who is basically the blonde version of me. And she literally would go in with a rake to like keep him off of her. And so anyway,
Which only makes it worse.
yeah, it made it so much worse.
Once you challenge a goat, then it's
him
over.
Specifically, but that's the thing is like it was him. So anyway, he moved to this new place, and his new owners love him, and they're having like he's so sweet with them, and they've never had a single issue that I've heard about. But they've sent in several reports about how he's doing, because I'm just curious. I'm always curious.
And they
what
have
happens.
a new barn, I think.
Oh, our neighbors? Yep,
Yeah.
they built a new barn. They have, yeah.
The neighbors, yeah. Some confusion as to whether we're thinking about moving back to Seattle. No.
Absolutely not. We're never going
not
back.
happening.
That's never happening. Yep.
Yeah, that's all.
That's all that we have to say about that. I mean, the thing, like, let me just, like, it's not like it was horrible there or anything like that. The thing is, we have landed in the most incredible community, like, possible here. We love it here. Our neighbors that we are in business with, we would be idiots to ever leave what we have going on here.
Yep.
Also the
moving,
weather.
Yeah, the weather and moving
also,
is awful.
Also, yeah, moving a farm across the country, 10 out of 10 don't recommend. And I will just say that I have upped both my physical possessions and the weight of those possessions and animals tenfold since we moved here, even including the downsizing. So no way, no how, we're never moving again, because literally, like, there's just...
We like it. We love it here.
Yeah, we love it.
It's not about Seattle being good or bad. Like, we love it here.
Yeah.
Let's see. See some familiar friends in the comment. I won't name everybody, but hello. People, IRL friends.
In real life, for those of you like me who never know what Adam's talking about when he's using technical or popular jargon.
I'll reach out to you after. Love hearing the frogs in the background. Yeah,
it's Peeper season.
It's like a real thing. They get like deafeningly loud when you're next to. Like, I'm not like you're like, if you're next to that
This room
pond,
is soundproofed, just to be clear.
No, I'm not even joking. Like your ears are ringing. It's so loud next to that pond.
So we have the peepers. Peepers are like the kind of frogs that go peep, 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 peep. I'm sure that's their actual technical genus and species, but they start in like mid-February and then go till June, and they are so, like, down by the pond where they congregate, which is actually amazing because that helps deal with mosquitoes. Like, there's no bugs down here, which is awesome. But yeah, it is so loud that, like, if I receive a call or something when I'm out by the pond, I literally have to go inside or walk away so that they can even hear me talking, because it's deafening.
Are you going? Carmen Eddie says, "Are you going to take a break from videos when the baby comes?"
Yeah, probably. I mean, like, yeah, we're going to take some maternity leave, but we probably will have some things some videos in the bank too, because, like, you know, it's peak gardening season and everything else. We'll see what we'll see what we're able to put together between now and then. But, like, yeah, I mean, the reality is that this is so much like a passion. Like, we love doing it. Well, I mean, I'll speak for myself. I love doing this. I really, I mean, even this last couple of years, as we've like decided, like made the intentional choice to focus on YouTube, I've really struggled making so much less content. Like, I used to make a YouTube video every week, and I was posting on 5 different platforms 5 times a day. And I mean, that was a lot, and it was insane, and I was working like 18 hours a day. But I love, it's very funny because as an introvert, I think that this is the way that I feed my social soul, because the reality is that in person, I really can't handle more than like one-on-one interactions, and I don't want a lot of them. I mean, we quality over quantity. That's kind of what we go for. And so with that being said, though, like, I do really, really enjoy like interacting with people. I think the thing that I enjoy the most about it is like that I like can still be alone, but like still feel connected to people. Anyway, so I get really restless when we're not doing that stuff.
When we're not making videos.
When we're not making videos, yeah.
Yeah, totally. But we enjoy it. We were just making a couple videos yesterday, filming all day.
Yeah, we had
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's exhausting, but it's a lot of fun.
Yes, totally. Especially now, because
for you, yeah, I'm sure.
But no, yeah, I mean, I like this to me is like the greatest thing in the world, and I can't imagine not doing it, and I don't really want to. I mean, and that's like the thing that we've kind of gone back and forth with as we like as Adam joined the business and everything else too, like. What would you do for free? And I was like, well, I literally did this for free for so long, and I would and that's like why it worked ultimately. But yeah, no, I would do this for free. I would like making videos is a huge part. Again, like even going back to what we were talking about earlier with the woodworking stuff, like making the video about the woodworking project was actually like a massive part of my enjoyment of building the project. And so actually when I stopped making videos about it, I kind of lost interest in doing it for a little while. And so that was yeah. Because the thing is that I love teaching. I love having a reason to learn new things. And the best way to learn is to turn around and teach. And so that side of this like really, really feeds my soul.
Zolth says, I can't believe you're an introvert. You're so happy and outgoing with your videos, but it isn't in person.
Yeah. No, that is actually something that is really funny.
We've talked about this actually the other day.
Oh yeah, we did. Adam and I were just talking about this because we went over to dinner at a place that had like kind of a large gathering, and I was like, ugh. I love one-on-one so much. Yeah, but when I'm in public, so like this kind of comes down to it too. Like when I'm in public, like if I'm speaking at an event or something like that, I just kind of my dad taught me this like a really long time ago, but just it's like you choose which, like you literally put on a costume, and then you are this person when you're in a certain environment. And so when I'm out in public, like teaching or like speaking at a big event and like talking to hundreds of people and stuff like that, I just become like the character of myself that would like that. And it helps to manage that. And like it's not like exhausting or draining or anything like that.
But you
it's
need
just
time to recharge for yourself.
Yeah, it takes like after last year, after my month of like big speaking engagement after big speaking, like I think I didn't leave the house for like 4 weeks or something after that last year.
That's good.
But anyway. Oh, Rick Pye, thank you so much. We're so glad to see you here. Also, Emma from Sonny's Place loves your mustache. So
I know. I keep seeing a bunch of like mustache.
Listen, the mustache is. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, Jonathan Miller, super chat. Thank you. And it just says mustache.
Yes. I mean, if I knew that I could give a super chat to get a mustache, I probably would have done it a long time ago. All that to say, did you have anything else that you specifically? I want to just quickly mention that I am drinking Re-Lyte, Redmond, real salt. We've talked about this, I think, on every live recently.
Redmond supports the channel.
Yes.
People always ask, like, okay, how can we support you? Like, Redmond's is a very big supporter of the channel.
Redmond Life is where you can get all the human products that Redmond sells, and they have so many amazing things. I mean, hilariously, like they make the toothpaste that I use, almost everything that goes in or goes on the outside of our bodies comes from Redmond. That sounds a really weird way to say that, but Redmond Life, it's great. RedmondLife.com. They make the best hydration stuff. I mean, this is another topic for another day, but my personal health journey has come a long way since learning about how to get my body healthy, to deal with like my hydration, to get rid of toxins and stuff like that. And a lot of that stuff started when I started learning about salt mining and bentonite clay and all of the things that you can learn with that. Anyway, so Redmond Life, I think that you can even get a discount if you're buying products through Redmond Life. You can use the code Anne of All Trades and you'll get a discount. We talk way more about the agriculture side of things, so Redmond Agriculture, because ironically for 10 years before I realized that like the little brand name was the same thing on the human products, I didn't know that they made human stuff, but I've been using Redmond products for my animals for like I said, over 10 years. And yeah, we love the company. In fact, Carson is like, if you've seen our 3 ingredients to healthy soil video,
what is wrong with my farm?
What's wrong with my farm video, where we have a 6th generation farmer come judge our farming endeavors.
It's Carson
from Redmond, and
he's a great guy.
He's coming back next month, and we cannot wait to see him. So anyway, check out Redmond Life. My favorite, by the way, product that literally I have not had a sip of unfettered water since I started drinking Re-Lyte, but the Re-Lyte Kids one is packed with even more good stuff, so this is it. Re-Lyte Kids, and my favorite one is the pink lemonade. So I literally, quite honestly, have never, I have not had un-Redmond water since I found this, which is really funny because, side note, that sounds like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with you? But the reality is that I actually didn't grow up drinking water. I know it sounds really ridiculous, but I found out later in life that I was severely dehydrated all the time, and it was because no one ever told me that you're supposed to drink water.
In your defense, drinking huge quantities of water wasn't really the thing it was back in the 90s as it is now.
True.
Do you remember, when I was growing up, I don't ever remember seeing people walk around with huge jugs of water and just drinking water all the time. It was it just felt
his little sister carries around a 2-gallon jug all the time. It's hilarious.
But that's just
it's a spectacle.
Water culture was not a thing in the 90s. Maybe I missed it, but I don't ever remember drinking water.
Yeah, well,
they do now.
I started drinking coffee when I was 5 years old because it calmed me down, and that never stopped. And so
anyways,
that's what I had. And so anyway, Redmond Re-Lyte has really, really revolutionized my life because I'm hydrated for the first time in my entire life, and it's really good. And it tastes good too, because there's actually a scene in one of my favorite movies where it's Baby Mama, by the way, which we've rewatched several times recently, and it's even funnier now. But she hands her some water to take her prenatal vitamin, and she's like, "Oh, that's horrible. What is it?" And she's like, "It's water."
Yes.
Anyway.
Let's see. A lot of.
Oh, do we want to give away a Redmond while we're here?
Sure. Yeah. So, how do we want to do this?
3 random names.
Well, let's pick them at the end.
Okay, so, Adam will pick 3 random names from the people that are engaging in the chat section.
I'll pick the 3 most interesting comments that catch my eye.
There you go. Oh, so here's your chance to really shine. If you have something interesting, controversial, good question, etc., that you would like to ask, this is your chance.
Yeah. Craig says we drank from the garden hose. Yep, that's exactly right.
Oh yeah. I mean, I didn't, but I hear that is the case. Yeah, so let's see what. Oh, actually, this is only related to Eugene because I hear her chewing on something, but here's a funny thing about just revisiting my little remodel and the upstairs baby room really quick. So the other day I was down here, and in case you don't know this, rabbits are afraid of heights. They have no depth perception, so you could set a rabbit on a table or a chair and they'll never jump off because they don't know how far It is. And so having had rabbits most of my life and just like experiencing this, I was like, oh, well, Eugene is going to be afraid of the stairs. So I never thought about the fact that she might walk up the stairs that take you into the hayloft behind this door. And so one time, I don't know, last week or the week before, I was out here and I was like, okay, it's time to go back up to the house. So I was like gathering up all my stuff and I was like, okay, where's Eugene? And I was like freaking out because she's nowhere to be found. And then I hear something upstairs, like thumping around. And I was like, what the heck is that? So I went up there and Eugene had gone up all the way upstairs, made herself at home. She'd been hanging out in there. By the way, she's litter box trained, so that's why she can just be wandering around in our home or in my office at all times. But yeah, so Eugene has no problem. And literally the moment that she senses this door is open, I don't know if you saw her just suddenly appear behind me just now, but the moment I opened the door, she is like, yes, can I go up there, please? And the answer is no, because it's a construction zone up there, and she's very fluffy. She's like a tiny little mop, and so I don't want her going up there and getting sawdust on her.
Jesse G asks, did you make little booties out of Eugene's fur?
Well, we're going to have to be collecting Eugene's fur for quite a while to be able to make anything useful.
I don't know. There's a lot of fur on the table yesterday.
Adam walked in yesterday while I was collecting her fur, and he was like, what is going on over here? And yes, it was quite a lot of fur.
It's like surprising amount of fur for such a small animal.
For such a small animal, but also I will say that she's like 2 pounds, and then the rest of her is fluff.
Yes,
so. But
Eugene has kind of been your passion.
My passion
project since you've been pregnant, because since you've kind of been immobilized a lot of the time.
Yeah.
You lay on the couch.
I've never spent more time on the couch in my entire life collectively as I have in the last 6 months. Even my mom, like when she was here a couple weeks ago, was like, I don't think I've ever actually seen you sit on a couch before, much less just lay there all day. And so, yes, Eugene has been the light of my life because usually we don't let farm animals go inside the house. And so Eugene was the consolation prize. Which, should we tell Eugene's origin story?
Sure.
Okay.
This is actually
kind of funny.
Kind of funny, yeah.
So, I have been raising rabbits for most of my young life. And about 10 years ago, I got obsessed with creating a new breed of rabbit. And so, anyway, there's like a whole
there's a lot of twists to this story.
There's a whole backstory here, but anyway, it took me 6 years to create the first technically purebred version of this new breed, so I thought, of rabbits. And his name was Stanley. And unfortunately, Stanley met an untimely demise, and so I kind of had to start over a little bit. But so it took me another 6 months to get the next truly pure version of this, which...
This was like 7 years ago?
Yeah, 6 or 7 years ago.
Context.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what? Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Seattle.
Back in Seattle. So then I finally, the thing is that with purebred animals, which is actually, this is why puppy mills are problematic, is because, to be able to get certain genetics, there's, things called line breeding, and, the problem with line breeding done irresponsibly is that, all of the bad traits go along with the good traits. And so you don't want, you can create absolute disasters of animals, because truly, if you want a healthy animal, hybrid vigor is what you need. You need basically a mutt for an animal to be healthy. And
hybrid vigor.
Yeah, hybrid vigor is I mean, this is why we do have certain purebred cows, but we are actually mixing multiple genetics into our cow herd, specifically aiming after hybrid vigor. Anyway, all this to say, I had finally gotten a group of unrelated rabbits, well, like not too closely related rabbits that were all within this thing. By the way, at one point I had like over 100 rabbits. This was like, it was
Not
insane.
when I was with you.
Yeah,
when was that?
A while ago. Anyway, but like I think probably our max rabbit numbers when we've been together is probably like in the 20s.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't. Best to block that out.
Adam didn't. It was very easy to conceal
20
animal stuff.
rabbits?
Yes. Remember when I had
yeah.
all of those cages in our backyard in the cottage lake house?
Vaguely. This is a long time ago.
Adam's blocked it out, but also Adam, it's like very easy to
there's
hide.
A sighting, right?
Oh, there she is. Oh yeah, there she is. She's eating my little oak shavings. Her stomach pH must be off. Anyway, this is a very long way of saying that I finally had a group of these of like breeding stock to actually reliably be producing these bunnies. When we moved here, loading the animal trailer was a tad chaotic, and I did mention that the people who purchased our house from us wanted to keep a bunch of the animals that we had. So I had decided that, okay, we're moving to Tennessee, we're gonna have a bigger farm. The weather's really different there. I only am going to bring one breeding pair. And then we left the rest of the rabbits that I had in Washington. The unfortunate thing is that Howdy and Bella, the donkeys, and I had practiced going in and out of the trailer many times, but for some reason on the morning that we were trying to leave, it was an absolute disaster trying to get Howdy and Bella into the trailer. And so I was like stressed beyond belief and also crying. And I went to go get the bunnies, and I grabbed like my stud, whose name was Briggs, and who I thought was his wife. Spoiler alert, it turns out it was not his wife. I grabbed the wrong rabbit in my stress, and I had arrived in Tennessee with 2 male rabbits. And if you know anything about rabbits, it's that the males will try to dominate each other. Anyway, both of them were stained completely yellow. We'll leave it at that. I had to immediately separate them.
You mean like on the trip there?
Yeah, on the 55-hour drive here, they had nearly loved themselves to death. Anyway, we got here. I had to separate them immediately, and I was like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with 2 male rabbits. So I gave one of them, the one that was just like the wrong wife, to our neighbor's daughter. And then I kept Briggs, who was like my champion stud. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll find a rabbit to breed him with here, but like good luck because these are kind of rare. So 5 years goes by, I couldn't find a mate for him. Hilariously, well, it wasn't hilarious, but it was actually miraculous. During that time, Briggs survived 2 tornadoes. Like his cage was absolutely decimated. I found like pieces of his cage and him hiding underneath one of them, like over 100 yards from where his cage used to be. Anyway, so he survived 2 tornadoes, and 5 years. And he wasn't super young when we brought him here. So he is now an old man. And my friend Rachel in Ohio, happens to get a rabbit that he could mate with. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so perfect. So I sent, Rachel and Austin came down to help us with the school for a little while. And I sent Briggs home with her so that Briggs and Mrs. McGillicuddy could...
This is like 6 months ago.
Yes, 6 months ago. So that Briggs and Mrs. McGillicuddy could make some babies. And Briggs had the best last hurrah of his entire life and then died doing what he loved. And 10 days after he died, Mrs. McGillicuddy had 3 babies, and Eugene is one of the 3 babies. So the amazing, truly, the rabbit gestation, by the way, is 28 days. So, as each day that went by, I was like, well, I guess, because they were together for 3 or 4 months. So, they had ample opportunity and no babies. But then, miracle of miracles, after the grave, oh, she's stretching. Oh, Anyway, so that's how Eugene came to be.
He lived a full life.
He lived an unbelievably full life.
Went out on a high note.
He died doing what he loved. So anyway, that is how Eugene came to existence. And so Rachel has Briggs Jr. and Mrs. McGillicuddy, and then her friend, who's also like a mutual friend of ours, daughter, has the other one. And she actually is probably even living an even better life than Eugene, because she has her like out on a leash every day. I've been watching her Instagram stories. It's like very cute. Anyway, so that's, thank you for enduring my probably half-hour-long story about my rabbit.
But we got several questions on the video the other day. What happened to Briggs?
Oh, yeah.
So that's why we're like,
Yeah.
well, maybe we should
actually
explain.
tell what happened to Briggs. Here's the funny thing about that. Not that, actually. Another side shoot of that. If you watched that, our pregnancy announcement video, we were filming in, like, it was literally, we were on tornado watch. Again, tis the season. It's actually literally probably the only thing we don't like about living here. But we were on tornado watch while we were filming the video, and there were gusts of like 50-mile, like, plus.
It was very windy.
An hour winds. And so I was sitting out there holding Eugene, and like this, if there's like a 40-second long clip in that video where I'm holding Eugene and her hair is blowing, and I've rewatched that clip of the video at least 100 times, and I've sent it to like everyone I know, because it is so funny. If you want to like be amused, if you need some like, you know, something to get over the tears of that video, watch, like, I think it's in the last like 2 minutes.
Well, it was funny because like I was editing it, and like what you're saying actually has like no connection to anything else, but we kept it because it was just so funny.
Yeah, that's true. In fact, I'll just pull up the clip on my phone and just like show you all, just so that you can see it, because it is truly like hilarious. Okay, so this is not going to be like very quality. Oh God, sorry, dyslexia. So anyway. Just look at...
It gets progressively worse.
Like, her hair.
Like, no, yeah, it gets worse and worse.
Like, she can't see at all. Anyway, I just looked up at the tree. It looks like a little, like, fluffy hood around her head. Anyway, yeah, so that was great. Anyway.
Yes, very windy.
Very windy that day. Her hair was very funny, and she's very cute, and she truly has been.
Did you want to play a song? You said you wanted to play a song.
Well, I did tease in my Instagram stories.
And you're also literally holding a violin in the thumbnail of this.
But... Oh, that's right, because you used a picture of the cow. Okay, well, first of all, I don't think I've ever shown my 1846 violin. So I'm going to... Sorry, buddy. I'm much more rotund than before. Anyway, this is one of my most prized possessions. This was a violin that a dear friend of mine basically gave me. And anyway, it is so, so cool. 1846, they don't make them like they used to. It is so beautiful. Like, everything about this is so amazing. And it sounds really good too. But
you're talking it up so much is making me nervous. Like, you're gonna drop it.
I'm not gonna drop it. I literally play this with my cows all the time. But here's the thing. So I used to play violin much better than I do now. But all of that led to me ultimately playing mandolin, which I'm much better at now than violin. But for those who are here for the woodwork, I built this mandolin. Here, hold this for a second. I built this mandolin, and it's, aside from the violin, like, I mean, actually, so when we were on tornado watch the other day, I literally like brought this mandolin and that violin into the
pretty cool
basement to shelter with us, because they're such prized possessions. Do you want to get a guitar?
Are you tuned on that?
I should be. I mean, I was just playing it right before we started.
Okay.
Although you might have to tune to me.
All right, we haven't practiced at all.
We haven't played, well, we've been playing a ton of music together, but I don't have a mandolin up at the house, and so...
Like, we literally are going in very cold here, so...
It's great. It's going to be great.
You might hear some errant notes. Also, do you have chords for this?
Oh, yeah, they're right here.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway, so I've been playing a lot of music for my animals lately, which ultimately has led me to... Here you go. Can you see that?
Do you need to read this?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been playing a lot of music for my animals lately, which has ultimately led me to wanting to share that piece of the journey with you. So I promised that I would play something, but Adam mentioned to me right before we started that we can't play any songs that have copyrights because of all of this. But anyway, side note, Adam and I, like, our one thing that we've had in common is music. And so we, like, Adam's not, into the farming stuff or the woodworking stuff. We met when we were, well, actually, I was in high school, he was in college, and he was my brother's roommate, and they played music together. So I actually was, our first time hanging out, we, like, did a bunch of, like, 60s music cover songs together, and
Yeah.
that's
that was like how we met.
the basis of our friendship is music. And so both of us play a bunch of instruments. Adam's way better at literally everything. He's forbidden from playing the mandolin because otherwise he'll be better at that too. So,
All right.
shall we?
All right.
Cold.
You want to go fast, or how fast do you want to go?
I don't know. I was
All right.
just...
You count it off then. Beautiful.
So
That's
anyway,
pretty good.
that's a cold
That
open
was
there.
very cold.
But anyway, so I was gonna play. We've been playing a bunch of other music together.
Oh my gosh.
What's happening?
The dogs are like putting their paws on the door.
Oh, because June's trying to get into the barn. Hold on, because of the wind.
Oh.
Let me I'll go open the door.
So
for her really
June
quick.
is like very deathly afraid of.
Well, June was literally in the barn when the tornado ripped the roof off of the barn. So, in her defense.
Yeah, she's a little bit traumatized by that. So Annie's gonna go.
Yeah, let me just run out there really quick.
And I'll just play some music while I read the comments.
Hey, buddy. Junie, do you want to come in, bud? Here, come on. Come on. Come here, bud. John, come on. Good boy.
Beautiful. Adam, please do a full video of you two playing in the garden or out in the pastures. Yeah, that'd be fun. Annie, it seems like people are... Oh yeah, thank you, Heidi, for the super chat. That was beautiful, thank you. Seems like people are into it. Should we play something else?
We could if you want. What do you want to play?
Or we'll just keep playing the same song.
We could.
I bet you'd be really good now that we practice it. All right, let's just do like one more turn.
Oh, of the same song?
Same song.
Okay,
All right.
okay. I mean, we can play something else. Like the big challenge here is playing music that's like playing songs that are not copyrighted.
Yeah, otherwise it's like...
Because we did like a jam session one time, and we did like songs by request, and we had to take the video down because Brandy Carlisle's people sued us.
No, it's always getting sued. They just take the money for the video.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Worst case is you get a channel strike and then.
Yeah, which we don't want to have channel strikes, so we have to be careful about that. But I mean, like, yeah, I mean, we could always play original songs, which we have lots of, but
That's really the answer. Is we just got to play originals.
Yeah. Oh wait, here, put my pick with this. It has to go with it. Mandolin picks. I have a very specific mandolin pick, and I have had the same one pick for 12 years because they cost $40. But it's kind of like a hair tie. Like if you only have one hair tie, you never lose it. But if you have a whole bunch of them, you'll lose them all. But anyway, that pick is precious, and so it has to always go back in the strings, otherwise it will get lost.
This is Slammin'. Thank you for the super chat. What kind of music do you both listen to? Annie?
We love almost all music. I mean, we love classic. Like, I mean, is it classic or what's 60s music considered these days?
Classic rock.
Yeah, classic rock.
Yeah. I'm a big Beatles fan. I like...
Adam knows more about the Beatles than any living human being except Paul McCartney.
Everybody has a topic that they know an unreasonable amount of things in, and mine is the Beatles.
I mean, I love like folk music. Like I listen to a lot of bluegrass. We live in Nashville, so country.
Yeah,
obviously.
I mean country. Like like classic country.
Classic
I'm not like
country.
the new country's not. I'm not super into.
What specifically are you thinking of?
Like
when you
bro
think of
country.
That? Oh yeah. Oh okay.
Like
okay.
not into that.
Yeah.
Also,
I love crappy pop music, like more than anything. I mean, I've listened to Kesha's albums probably more than anything else. Like if I'm ever in a bad mood or I'm really depressed or literally I just need to like get some energy, I will blast some Kesha. Also, I've never not glued up a chair to Kesha. That's only specifically because it really, like, one of my chair making friends hates Kesha, and so I specifically turn it on every time he's around.
Rick Pye asked, what is your favorite Nickelback song?
That question doesn't compute.
Thank you for
If we want to talk about Nickel Creek.
Oh, yes.
Nickel Creek, my favorite band, makes lots of really good music.
Katie Stamp, thank you for the super chat. She says, thanks for the show. Congratulations. Let the next adventure begin. Thanks you, Katie.
We are very excited about the next. Also, Rick, if you like Nickelback, that's okay. We're still friends.
You know what's interesting about Nickelback is
Is there?
Yes, they're actually like one of the last like big bands on the charts. Don't think about it too hard, but it's true. The band has almost died in the last 10 years.
Like a group instead of like a single artist.
If you look at the Billboard charts, it's like there's like no bands on the charts. Anyways, this is not a music channel.
It could, well, listen, it should be. Actually, when Adam quit his job, I did say, I was like, what do you want to make videos about? And this is actually part of why we don't make woodworking videos anymore. It's literally because when he quit his job, I was like, do you want to like start making music content? Like, would you want to just like make a couple albums or like do music stuff? And he said, nope, I want to make homesteading videos. And I was like, what? But here we are. And he's crushed it. I mean, like, everything Adam touches turns to gold.
Oh, that's very nice of you to say.
It's true.
We make a good team. That's the real answer.
The first time we broke up when we were younger was because we were recording a song, and I broke up with him over like an argument about the guitar solo in the song. So just so you know how much we care about music, that's a good barometer.
Well, I was probably being an idiot.
I mean, I was also being an idiot.
Thank you for the super chat, Jeremy.
Jeremy, we love you so much.
We love you, Jeremy.
Hey, come.
He says, encore, encore. We want an original song. We're going to need to prepare for that.
Yeah, we just need to practice.
We'll take that challenge.
A skosh. Also, I mean, like, the thing is, you don't want to hear, me have to stop and tune an 8-string instrument. And one of the curses of my existence on this planet is that I have perfect pitch. And so if any instrument is, like, slightly off tune, it's very painful. And, like, that mandolin was a little bit out of tune, and I, like, almost couldn't make it.
Do you guys watch other people's channels? Ask Carmen Eddie.
Totally.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Although, I will say that, funnily enough, until, like, semi-recently, I never watched videos, like, I had never even, like, watched any videos within the, like, the segment of stuff. So, like, I mean, my YouTube search stuff is, like, how to fix tubas, how to rebuild a saxophone, things that I am definitely not building, things that I'm definitely not making videos about. And Adam is really interested in, like, history stuff on YouTube, and also world champion GeoGuessr player.
Yes. Yes.
So Adam watches videos of people.
My YouTube recommended feed is a mess.
We really like Rick Beato.
Rick Beato.
Beato, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not like religiously watching that, but it's my feed is like a bunch of GeoGuessrs like videos. It's like a lot of History Channel stuff and like Roman Empire stuff. Or what else is on there? I watch the other homesteading channels to try to like get kind of a feel for what else is out there.
Eugene.
Worth the effort says I want Adam's soundtracks on the homesteading videos. I will take that as a compliment. Thank you. I would do that if I wasn't like in such a rush to edit these videos. But if we had a little bit more breathing room, yes, I would do that. Okay.
Someone says, quote, how to crochet rabbit fur. Ironically, earlier today, I was looking, like, one way of spinning fiber, because like I have a great wheel, an enormous like spinning wheel, and then side note of all side notes, I actually like my first woodworking mentor, Frank, he built spinning wheels, and so when I first started woodworking, I was making parts for spinning wheels for Frank, like by the dozens. And so this is long before even having animals. Like, this is before I ever even got a dog, or a cat, or anything for that matter. But anyway, I was making spinning wheel parts. And so things have come full circle now that I do stuff with fiber. All that to say that earlier I was like trying to tell Adam what drop spindles were, like it's like a top that spins fiber. And I was like, oh, I'll find a video on YouTube that shows you. And so when I'm ever trying to show Adam something, I want to like impress him. So I was like, I filter by view count, and the video on YouTube that has the most views of any
video is 88,000 views for drop spindles. So I was
small
like,
and niche.
very clear. Adam was like, this is obviously very, very, very niche. And I was like, well, the video I was watching right before this was how to restore a 1905 tuba, which is, I previously purchased several brass. I bought an entire brass band's worth of instruments came with something else that I purchased. They're all from like 1905 to 1910, and so I've been working on... Actually, the saxophone is right here. I'll show you. It's really cool.
Laura Chastain wants to know if you can see a close-up of Eugene.
Oh, yeah, we can do that. Right after I show you my 1910 saxophone. This is... Anyway, so all that to say, like, I don't know how to play, like, 3 songs on, like, every instrument. But literally just because I like being able to be like, and we can play this on the accordion, and we can play this on the saxophone. But anyway, all that to say, I thought when I first saw this, like, group of instruments accompanying this giant crane that I was buying, antique crane, I was like, oh, this is so great because I will then have my own of each of those instruments. But they're all in desperate need of restoration, so that's what I've been working on in, all my spare time. All right, let me get Eugene.
I'm just going to try to catch the bunny.
Eugene! Hi, buddy.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, Eugene might be a little hard to catch right now because there's a lot more places for her to hide right now than normal, because of all the stuff we shoved in the corner to make it look like we weren't remodeling. Where'd you go, buddy? You wouldn't think it's so hard to lose 5 pounds of fluff.
I think she's also, like, probably excited to explore and down here.
Yeah, because she hasn't been down here for a few days. Where'd you go, buddy? Oh, there she is. Oh my gosh.
Well, Annie's trying to wrangle Eugene. Did you find her?
Yeah, but now she's under the chair.
Uh-oh. Do you need a hand?
No. There's... Get my buddy.
And did you ever get the old pickup truck running? Somebody asked.
Oh, yeah. Actually, okay, so that's a great question. I was restoring a 1953 pickup truck back when we were making project videos. We had more videos about that. Yes, it's actually running amazing, and it's at my friend Greg Pennington. It's at Greg's house, and the thing is that the only thing that it needs now is an interior, because we've done all of the mechanical stuff that it needs. It's running like a champion.
I don't think we're going to find this bunny.
Well, I mean, we're going to find her eventually, but she's under the chair right here.
Next live stream. How about that?
Yeah. I was actually going to suggest that we, like, brush her on a pedestal during the next one.
That would be funny.
Anyway.
Let's do that.
So that truck is actually so done that we actually got another one. Greg and I have been working on a 1953 Studebaker. But yeah, we've really been... Again, this is kind of why it's like... I miss making content, like weekly content, about all the things, because there's so many fun things that go along.
But I think that you're kind of looking forward to maybe posting on Instagram a little bit more to.
Totally. Well, and therein lies, like part of that can be solved by posting more on Instagram, but just like. Couldn't really do that recently because we were trying to keep a secret, and I'm not very good at keeping secrets.
Yeah, it's difficult to post daily content and keep that secret.
Yeah, totally. There's a bug in here.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, I feel like that we've covered a lot of different topics today.
But it's been an hour and a half.
Oh, my lands.
So maybe we should pick a winner.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna pick. I'll pick 3 winners.
Amazing. So this is for, you can use...
Do you want to talk about Redmond's?
Yeah,
while I do
so
this?
we love Redmond. Here's my 3-minute TED Talk about Redmonds. So salt, I think, has been demonized for the last 50 to 100 years. And rightfully so, because the white table salt that we have is not good for us. Because ironically, I mean, historically, salt actually, like, the word salary comes from the fact that salt used to be more valuable than gold because, you know, salt is what you use to preserve things. It's what you use to make your food taste good. But it also is the source of a lot of the things that we as humans need. But unfortunately, salt was, some people figured out a while back that salt was, like, had a bunch of good stuff that you could take out of it and sell as other products. And so they figured out how to separate the saltiness from those things. And that's now why, like, that salt, just like white table salt, has had all of the good stuff that our bodies actually need taken out of it. All that to say that there are a couple good salts left, like sea salt. I think Himalayan sea salt got really popular a couple years ago. But the problem with sea salt is, where does the garbage that all of us are, you know, like, ultimately garbage ends up in our water supply, which then runs into our oceans. And so if you're using sea salt, what are you drinking but dehydrated garbage water, for lack of a better you know, way to say it. So all that to say, I got really obsessed with salt and salt health and, like, what can happen with good salt recently. And I found out that there are 2 places in the world where salt is made the way that it should be and unprocessed, like, it's just being used as its natural product. One of them is in Bolivia, and one of them is in Provo, Utah. And in Provo, Utah is where the Redmond salt mine is. And this is from, like, their salt mine is a miles deep cache of salt that was deposited in the Jurassic era. So it has been unfettered by humans in any regard. And they are taking literally the best salt in every regard. Like, why do we have to take vitamins as humans? This is literally because we are not getting the stuff that we should be getting from our salt. But guess what? If you have the right salt, you can get it. So Redmond's, literally, they are taking the salt, like, they don't have to do anything to process it. They can take it straight from where it was deposited in the Jurassic era with, like, and just send it out to us. And so that's the salt that is in all of their hydration products. It's in their salt that we use for pickling and for everything. It's in the salt that we use for our animals. And, like, I mean, our human health and our animals' health have been so massively positively influenced by switching everything over to Redmond products. I mean, like, literally, if we're having cow fertility issues, again, this is why I'm like, I started working with Redmond literally because I had been using their products for so long. But if we're having, like, cow fertility issues, we can trace that back to usually a lack of selenium in her diet. And so then we can literally get salt that has a higher selenium content in it from a portion of the mine that has that. And then we can give our then we can give our cow that selenium salt, and, like, that fixes the problem. We deal with, like, so many flies here in the South, like, using Redmond's salt that has garlic in it, like, has reduced our fly populations with our cows. Anyway, I could literally go on and on about this for a very long time. I could tell you about, like, I mean, I started using a human salt lick a long time ago because I was like, surely if it helps the cows this much, and here we are, 7 months pregnant, so I'm just going to say. Yeah, we love Redmond. So Adam has picked 3 random winners.
So yeah, why don't you say where people can use the discount code?
Oh yeah, so you can either use the Animal Trades. Animal Trades will get you a discount from either Redmond Homesteader if you're looking for animal products, or if you're looking for human products, go to Redmond Real Life. What? Oh,
Redmond
sorry.
Life.
Redmond Life. Good night. Real salt. Redmond Life. And you can use the code AnivalTrades there. Human products are Redmond Life. Animal products are Redmond Agriculture.
There's like a thunderstorm.
Yeah, sorry, we're actually again on tornado watch. 'Tis the season. And so, anyway, with no further ado.
Yes. So, winners of the giveaway, $50 Redmond gift cards, Zolth, Zolth, Jody Cooper, and Alina Adler. So that's Zolth, Jody Cooper, and Alina Adler. If you email us at marketing@anivaltrades.com, we'll get you hooked up with that.
Yep. Email us. So, yeah, those 3 people, email us.
Marketing@anivaltrades.com.
Also, huge shout out to Black's Tropical Homestead. The first time I met them in person was actually at the Redmond Salt Mine. That was so fun. Also, I saw this. I usually don't read the comments because I'm A, severely dyslexic, and B, very distractible. But I happened to see this comment. Big Wes's Lawn Care says charcoal, worm casting, and diatomaceous earth together is a magical stomach fix for cows. Here's the thing. An even more magical stomach fix for cows is actually bentonite clay, which, I mean, works on the same principle as charcoal because it, like, bentonite clay is basically volcanic ash. But we actually put bentonite clay in with our minerals for our animals. And I drink a cup of clay and salt every single day for my health. It's like great. Anyway, there's so many uses. And so, like, yes, you're totally right, Big Wes's Lawn Care, on that tip. However, I would raise you looking at the science of using bentonite clay. Oh, Eugene sighting. Anyway.
I might have heard the thunder.
I think she did.
It retreated.
So, thank you all so much for being here. We absolutely adore you all. We're so thankful that we have the opportunity to share. Like, time is our one non-renewable resource. It means the world to us that you would invest that in us and invite us into your homes. And
yeah, we're super excited to have shared what we did with you earlier this week, and super excited to kind of make it part of our lives, and I think it's going to be pretty fun. Cool.
Yeah, we'll see you in the next video, which I think we're upcoming videos are morning chores. We're doing another, like, a new and revised.
Yes, we have
farm chores.
Another morning chores farm tour. Those are always really fun to make.
Yep.
And then we have a propagation video.
So if you want to know why you should never buy a potted fruit tree from a home center, stick around.
And then maybe a video detailing our trip to Seattle. We'll see.
Yes. All right.
All right.
Cheers. We'll see you all soon. Thanks for being here. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.